everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal, and I have some great tips for you on taking care of your beautiful, necessary lungs. Now, this is something we usually don't think about unless we start to have problems or issues. So if you think about all the things that we need to survive and stay alive here on planet Earth as humans, we can go a certain amount of time, a pretty long amount of time without food. We can go a long time without water, but we can't go very long without oxygen. And for most of us it's literally a few minutes. So this is something to really pay attention to, just taking care of, supporting, nourishing, and really feeding our lungs the right thing. So I've got a few great tips for you, and then even some nice herbal remedies or just herbal things that I've used and found over the years that have made a big difference for me, just paying attention and taking care of my lungs. So the first thing is, of course, lifestyle. Now, there are foods that you want to avoid, and there's foods that you want to add into your diet that's going to actually help nourish your lungs. So some of the foods that you want to add into your diet are things like apples, beets, broccoli, green tea. Of course, take a look at what those are. Those are healthy, whole foods. And we've even got things like tomatoes and pumpkins. Those are all really, really good for your lungs. Now, some of the foods to avoid are things like processed foods like white bread, even potato chips, because of the salt and the saturated fats, can lead to a little bit of water retention, a little bit of high cholesterol, and things that just don't serve you when you're trying to take care of your lungs. Also, too much chocolate, even beer, is not good for lung health, especially if you're struggling. Every once in a while, a beer is fine, but if you're struggling with lung issues or getting your lungs back to full capacity, those are some things that you want to avoid and stay away from. Now, another good thing to do is steam therapy, where we all, know that you can put a pot of hot water you can put a pot of water on the stove, turn it on, let it heat up, put a towel over your head, and literally breathe in the steam from hot air. What that does is that helps to loosen up the mucus in your lungs, and by breathing in the steam, so water into your lungs, helps to open up your airways. And you can even add a few essential oils. Like I love to add a drop of eucalyptus essential oil. You really feel that. Also peppermint essential oil is really nice to add a couple of drops if you're going to be doing steam therapy. Now, another good thing to do for your lungs is exercise. We all know we should exercise for a whole multitude of reasons, but one of the best reasons is to literally open up and get your lungs used to, and on a regular basis, full capacity. Breathe the air, breathe deep, get your heart rate up. That's something that we know we need to add into our lifestyle, but this is especially important for people who are struggling with lung issues, trying to heal their lungs, or they simply want to keep their lungs in good condition. Because like I said, we need oxygen to stay alive, and even a few minutes without oxygen can do brain damage, and a certain amount of time, even a short period, we no longer survive if we don't have oxygen. Because if you think about it, our lungs not only bring in oxygen and help circulate oxygen throughout our blood system, our bloodstream, but it provides the carbon dioxide. It does that switch in your lungs, and we breathe out carbon dioxide. So it's just a really important function that, like I said in the beginning, we don't think about unless we start having problems. Now, some of the things that I truly love in the herbal realm, which I've seen make a huge difference, are things like osha root, lungwort, mullein, lobelia, and peppermint. Now, I named these 5 favorites because they are in our beautiful, beautiful blend. I formulated this about 6 or 7 years ago, and what I have found that this actually does, and what I like to do is use this, squeeze up a dropper, drop it in my mouth straight, even though most of our tinctures we suggest you add to a little bit of water. But what I find is when I take this tincture straight and I just squeeze up the dropper as far as I can, squirt it straight in my mouth, it makes me kind of cough a little bit, but that's totally normal. But what I can feel is I can feel that go in. It goes down my throat, I can literally feel it open up my lungs. So what I would suggest is if you're struggling with getting your lungs back to full capacity, or maybe you're just getting over a cold or the flu, or maybe you've been struggling with long-standing lung issues, keep in mind that your lungs take 6 to 8 months to completely regenerate. We all know that all of our body parts over a certain amount of time become new. So our skin, it takes 30 days and we have all new skin. Our bones literally become all new in 7 years. And of course, all of these functions and these renewal processes it takes us adding the right foods and doing the right things to help our body make the most of regenerating these different organs and different systems. So if you think about your lungs, and if say you've had long-standing lung issues, you need to think about the timeline, at least 6 months to regenerate, heal, and really renew those beautiful lungs. And in the meantime, make sure you are not a smoker. Um, I know that's easier said than done because that is something that um, not only a tough habit to break, but when we break the habit, if someone's breaking the habit of that, then we've got to deal with lungs that now need to be repaired and rejuvenated. Another really amazing thing to think about for lungs that a lot of you might not realize is that our lungs hold emotions and they hold patterns. Now, our lungs hold the emotion of sadness. So say we lost someone close to us, or say someone that we love is struggling with cancer or some other type of ailment that makes us super sad, or say something is going on in the world or with another person that makes us sad. This is the emotion that our lungs hold. In fact, you can kind of feel when we feel sad, we feel this heaviness on our chest. And that is our lungs. Our lungs are holding that emotion. So this is another reason to do things like emotional release things, meditate, do things that help us to talk through and really heal these emotions that can keep our lungs stuck with these issues. Now, as far as patterns, think about maybe when you were young, maybe you got a bad cold, maybe you got bronchitis, maybe you got pneumonia. Well, what happens typically for people is when we get something that affects our lungs or basically any part of our body, it creates a pattern. So when we have pneumonia when we're a child. When we get older and we maybe pick up a cold or we pick up the flu, what tends to happen is you'll notice it'll tend to settle in your lungs. So the same thing happens with sinuses. If you are prone to chronic sinus infections, it's because sinuses also hold patterns. And if you can heal those issues, you can typically, I've seen people over the years heal those old patterns. And sometimes it's a matter of recognizing that. So I would definitely take a look at these different lifestyle factors: green tea, exercise, steam therapy. Make sure you stay hydrated. Hydration is important for every function in our body, but especially important for keeping our lung capacity and our lung health at its optimum. And then consider doing something like this beautiful lung blend. And having this on hand going into cold and flu season is, in my opinion, extra important. So say you have perfectly healthy, amazing lungs. Your lungs feel good. They feel healthy. Well, this is something to have and set in your in-home herbal apothecary to have if you need to help out a family member. You need to have it on hand for any other reason. So say you breathe in some smoke or you breathe in bad air because there's pollution or inversion. It's always good to have something on hand that can really help get in there and heal and take care of your lung tissue. So I hope this helps. If there's any lifestyle things that you know about, hit me up in the comments. Tell me some of your home remedies, some of the things that you've done. If I've left an herb out, which I know I have, because there are other herbs that are great for taking care of lung health, drop a comment. Let me know what it is that you do to take care of your beautiful lungs. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a beautiful day, and we'll talk to you soon.